Shalom, and welcome to Challenging Torah, a project of the Malibu Jewish Center and Synagogue. We are in Veyechi, the very last portion of the book of Genesis. Veyechi, this is a book about endings, and it's really, instead of saying, and he died, it's, and he lived. Veyechi. And Jacob lived in the land of Egypt 17 years, and the whole age of Jacob was 147 years. 17 extra years. I'm about to die. I'll die having seen the face of my son. 17 years in a retirement home. It was actually pretty great. And he turns to Joseph and says, "Bury me not, I beg you, in Egypt, but bury me with my fathers in my burying place." And Joseph said, "I will do it." This is a story of exile. We know that we have been told 400 years you will be in exile. Abraham is told by God, in a place that is not yours. And each time the patriarchs go back to the cave that has been bought by Abraham, it is a story of exile and return that mirrors the entire story of the Jewish people as they endlessly swing between exile and the promise of return. But why does God make them wait for 400 years? Why doesn't God just take them there? Because before we can be a nation, we need to be a family. It's within a family that all of our relationships are worked out. It's not good if we work out our personal relationships as a nation, right? Then all of our ability to sulk and be angry and not talk for 20 years. It's not good if we do it as a nation state with another nation state. In order to gain an insight into how we are to improve as human beings, or as I always say, God made families so we could do tshuva. It's all about our families. And so from the beginning, the family is complicated. Adam and Eve, not a great discussion about the apple. Cain, Abel, Jacob, Esau, the struggles within the wives of Jacob, 12 sons and a daughter. It's fraught with problem, with resolutions, with repentance, with misunderstandings, and with a gaining an understanding and an empathy for another human being. Only then are we ready to become a moral nation as we take on the 10 Commandments and become a nation in the book of Exodus. And so this whole chapter of the story of our patriarchs comes to an end with Jacob's death. And Jacob, as he dies, the words are, "And Jacob called to his sons, and he said, 'Gather yourselves together, that I may tell you what is to happen ba'acharit hayamim, at the end of days.'" He has a vision. He knows the future. And he says to them, "Gather yourselves together, and hear, you sons of Jacob, and listen to Israel your father." And he opens his mouth to tell them the end of days. And the curtain falls. His eyes, they say, are obscured. His vision is clouded. Why? Because it is impossible to tell someone else what will happen at the end of days. Even if Jacob sees the truth, he can't really share it with his sons. We can only hold the peace that we're able to hold in our own individual vessel of being. And as we cross the line into the world of the beyond, we're not really able to give the message. And so he goes from that highly exalted place to the place where he blesses them individually. And we read these blessings, and some of them we say, this isn't a blessing. This is a father is going, "And you shouldn't have mounted my bed," right? Because each one has a gift, and each one has a character flaw that needs some work, some help, some more than others. The beauty is that the father, Jacob, is given the ability to see each one individually and give them their own special gift. I had the privilege of doing a funeral this week for a colleague and a friend, Robert Rubin, and his grandchildren and children stood up to eulogize him, and each spoke of their special gifts. Some it was golf, some it was business, some it was film, some it was Jewish study. And each one had been zeroed in on in an individual way. What a guide for us to know how to treat our own children as individuals. Would we want and vision to know what's going to happen be'acharit yamim, at the end of days? I don't know that I want to know what's going to happen at the end of this year. We may go to a fortune teller, or this being the secular New Year, say, there's always the predictions. Do we really want to know what's going to happen with ISIS? ISIS that we didn't predict 2 years ago, obviously. Do we really want to know what struggles are in front of us as the state of Israel? Or as America in the world scene? Do I really want to know about people in my family, especially those who may be aging? Do I want to know about the time of my own death? Probably not. I'd prefer to just live my life and expand my vessel in every way that I can. Always, there are unresolved issues. We see the brothers the minute Jacob dies, the minute Jacob dies, and the brothers turn to Joseph and they say, now that our father is dead, I know, Joseph, you will hate us, and certainly you will pay us back for all the evil that we did. And he says, don't worry. God again brought us here to save you and to save this people. We are within a meta story. But we can't really know. We can't know the end. We can only know our portion of the moment and our own blessings. And so the end of every book of the Torah, we say the words, Chazak, Chazak, v'nitchazek. Be strong, and be strengthened, as we ask for strength to continue on this journey of life, folding one book behind us and ready to open the next chapter of our exile and redemption. Shabbat Shalom.